Hello, everybody. This is Sinema77, horror and cult film lover, and I figured sooner or later I was going to have to get this one out of the way, so I figure I may as well just go ahead and do it now. And if you already seen the title of this video, you know which movie I'm going to talk about, and that is A Serbian Film. Okay, now this movie is kind of a very delicate subject. Okay, this movie, it is definitely on the list, considered to be one of the most, if not the most controversial horror films ever made. It's I mean, make no mistake about it. I mean, it is a film. It's written, it's directed, it's it's very well photographed and stuff like that. I mean, you could tell that I mean, it's a movie. It's not one of these kind of horror films that it's not one of these kinds that really tries to go for that documentary kind of feel or anything like that. I mean, it's stage. I mean, it's got like camera setups and things like that, and it's got a musical score and everything else. And but just this is one of those movies, like the content of it is it's disturbing, and it's meant to be disturbing. That's the entire point of this movie, is to just try to be as disturbing as humanly possible. And I have seen this movie, and I watched it once, and I started to watch it another time, just didn't get into it. But like I said, the thing about this movie is the entire goal of this film is to be disturbing and to be shocking, and this movie succeeds at that. And basically, what the story is you have this guy named Milos, and he's, yeah, I know, you could tell I'm kind of looking on here. What does it say here? But anyway, then no, you got him, and he's a retired porn star, and he got away from the business, and he met a woman, got married, they had a son, and they've been living off all this money that he made from doing pornos and stuff like that. And now the problem is that they're living in Serbia, and you know their financial situation is not great, and they're starting to run out of money, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, to live, to get by, and everything else. Well, this Milos, a woman that he worked with doing porn, she comes to him and tells him that there is this guy he's going to make a porno, and it's supposed to be this very like art house type film, and he's going to be doing different things, and he wants to meet Milos to talk about doing a role in the movie. So he goes and he meets with this producer, director, and everything, and producer director tells him, if you make this movie for me, then basically you and your family will have all the money you could ever possibly want. You'll never have to worry about finances again and everything else. And so he goes to his wife and explains to her, and she gives him the okay, and they decide, they're going to go ahead and make this movie because they need the money and everything else. So he goes and he starts doing what he's told to do. He gets himself into shape, and and all this other kind of stuff. And when he goes to start making this movie, he finds out right off the bat that this is not your typical run of the mill adult movie that he's going to be making. He goes and he starts um, seeing like some really weird stuff, and a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. And as the movie progresses, you realize, I mean, there's kind of like a lot of things are weird and out of left field, and you don't know what's going on. And then as the movie goes on, you realize that later on it's going to be pieced together, and kind of like put into order to try to make sense. And then he realizes that, like, they're kind of like trying to get him into doing things on camera that he's not particularly comfortable with. And the problem is like the more that he doesn't want to do these things, the more they tell him. Basically, they're kind of letting him know that that they've got him, that they control him, and if they can't get to him, they'll get to his family and stuff like that. And so you know he finds out that they've been drugging him and everything else to get him to perform and all this other kind of stuff. And so we're gonna go into some spoilers here, and yeah, just some spoilers. Okay, now everybody knows. Okay, we're gonna go into some spoilers here. Okay, this movie, if Okay, first of all, if you're offended by pornography, that's going to send you right out the gate on this one. You're not going to want to watch this. Okay. Then also, too, if you're offended by scenes of child molestation, you're not going to want to watch this. If you're offended of scenes of baby rape, you're not going to want to see this. If you're if you don't like scenes of homosexual rape, you're not going to want to see this. If you're offended by scenes of necrophilia, you're not going to want to see this. Okay. Now, like I said, I mean, this movie is kind of like I said, the entire point of this movie is to be shocking. It's meant to disturb you. It's meant to be graphic and in your face and everything. It's meant to be brutal and everything else. So it's like, if you are actually going to watch this movie, you really need to kind of just take it with a grain of salt, or just do yourself a favor. If you don't want to put yourself through it, just don't watch it at all. Um, I'm not going to lie. I mean, even though it is a stage movie and you could tell, it's got cinematography, it's got a music score and everything else. But, if, you're the kind of person you can't handle this kind of movie, then yeah, you're better off just staying away from it. But this is a kind of movie, if, you are interested in, like really pushing the limits in terms of what you can handle, what you think would be disturbing, or anything like that, then yeah, you could probably give this movie a try. And but like I said, this is not really like a movie I would really want to watch very often. Most people wouldn't. I've known a couple of people who they like the movie, and that's all fine and good. But I'm just saying though, it's like this movie is to say this movie is an acquired taste would be an understatement. I mean, there are a lot of people who, I mean, they can go for your regular, slasher movies and stuff like that, and they're fine with that. But this is you're kind of playing in a different ballpark with this one, and you're kind of getting into more movies like you're kind of getting into that area of kind of like Takashi Miike films, or Hostel or something like that. You're getting into more graphic, more brutal type films and everything else. And just, the filmmakers are not, they're not idiots. They know what they're doing. They know that, just pornography alone is enough to offend people and to outrage people and everything else. And like I said, it's clear watching this movie that that is the entire point of this whole movie. Is it's meant to be shocking and disturbing. It's meant to outrage you. And it does get more outrageous as the movie goes along. But like I said, for all the reasons that I've stated before, if you don't like scenes of rape, you don't like scenes of child molestation, you don't like scenes of necrophilia, pedophilia, you know, um, incest, things like that. If you don't like that kind of stuff, you're not going to like this. So, anyway, that's really about all I can say about this movie without giving away too much. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but then again, too, it's like, you know, if anybody's even watched to this point. But so anyway, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for talking about A Serbian Film. I figured sooner or later I was going to have to talk about this one, so I figure I may as well go ahead and get it out of the way and just be done with it. But yeah, I mean, even as a joke, one time, uh, I even had this DVD framed, and it had like a warning sign on it, saying, watch this movie at your own risk. Which basically, that's kind of what you need if you're gonna watch it. If you know, kind of like know what you're getting yourself into, you know, because it's like I told you what is in this movie, and if you go watch it and then you come back, oh, nobody said this was in here. So I told you what's in it. I'm not lying to you. I told you what you're going to see in this movie. Now, granted, it's simulated, it's fake, but it is in this movie. You know, so everything I told you is in here. So if you go and search for this movie, you know what you're getting yourself into. So anyway, that's gonna pretty much be about it for A Serbian Film. And um, anyway, that's it. This is Sinema77, horror and cult film lover. I hope you love horror films as much as I do. If you took the time to watch this video, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate you taking your time to do that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.